Hello, welcome back to my channel. It's Destiny, and I have a special co-host.
DeAngelo.
Yeah.
Hubby,
aka. Today I thought I'd switch it up a little bit and have DeAngelo on here because I miss him and doing stuff like this with him. I was trying. He doesn't actually want to do all this stuff.
I'm very camera shy, I'll tell you that much.
I try to reel him in. Do this with me, please.
Not big on the camera, I'm not big on social medias, but
yeah.
I do it for her.
I mean, you're on social media, but
Instagram only. If you want to follow me on Instagram, that's the only thing I'm on.
He doesn't use it in the same way either. He doesn't use it the way that most people use it. He's following some weird, not weird, but not weird because I fuck with the stuff that he follows, but
I'll tell you generally.
It's not
Kung Fu, art, mechanical things, spiritual things. There may be a fifth category, but that's about it.
It's interesting, but he likes what he likes, and I fuck with that. I fuck with that originality. Okay.
It's a long time in the
authenticity. We have DeAngelo on the channel.
Yes.
I actually really want to make this a podcast. I just have yet to have obviously guest on it, because when you have a podcast you need to be talking. I guess I could do a podcast by myself too, and I would low-key fuck with that, but it's
Embrace your potential, girl. You got it.
Yeah. I could do it. I'm just saying. I like socializing. I like talking with other people, so I love having DeAngelo on here. But I could definitely do a podcast by myself. You know what? This is what it's going to be. It's going to be a podcast channel. For the time being.
Yes. And like we talked about, for people to love you, you have to love yourself.
Okay? Yes.
Absolutely. That's
Preacher DeAngelo.
That's the most effective way to getting to it. You want people to notice you for who you are, you have to be yourself.
Authenticity.
Authenticity.
Yes.
You have to learn who you are and love yourself so that everyone can love you the same way you love yourself.
Yeah.
For people that match that, they come more into your inner circle.
Facts. Nothing but facts, but nonetheless, nothing I didn't already know.
Exactly. I know you know this. Who's watching this doesn't understand how much time and conversation we put into each other in these conversations. But they don't understand
this
what we know.
Divine union
yes.
that we have here.
Almost 10 years in the making. This has been a long time.
It's 9.5 as of December.
Yes.
You might want to take some notes. No, I'm just kidding.
Conversation is key. That's a big part.
And I know everybody says that. Everybody always says oh, for long-term relationships, communication is key. That's what you need. And I feel because people say that so often, it's so saturated and everybody's yeah, communication, we get it. But that's really, I feel that's the only thing that makes your relationship last so long.
Yes. Because
in every other area of your relationship, it can go up, it can go down, it can fluctuate. But if the communication is not there, that's what makes or breaks the relationship, because you need to know where the other person is at mentally in this relationship. And if you don't know, you start assuming. You start making an ass out of you and me, and people start separating.
Exactly, because the person assuming is basing someone's mind and thinking on their own perception on things. the part of communication that makes it work is for a man to stop thinking that no emotion is a way to express emotion. And in a conversation, they take the hardened way of speaking for themselves instead of releasing that vulnerability in the way that they really think because of preconditioned thoughts.
I love hearing that from you because I feel like that's very full circle for you. I feel like DeAngelo is able to say that right now because that's where he is at right now.
And a big problem that I had too.
Exactly.
Thoughts.
He was the guy that did not want to express himself and how he was feeling emotionally. He would shut down every time I would try and talk about it, and I'm a very emotional person. Like
Cancer rising?
No. Scorpio rising.
Oh, sorry.
My sun sign is Cancer.
Sorry, my sun sign is Taurus.
But either way, so you have your sun sign, your rising sign, and your moon sign. And out of those three, 2 of them are water signs. And water signs are very emotional people. Okay, so I'm a very emotional person. And I would always...
Taurus is very stern and holds their ground.
And rooted in their ways.
Yes.
And DeAngelo, just from his upbringing and everything, God bless his parents, they did the best that they could, but he was not very good at expressing his emotions. And so in the beginning, he would always shut down every time I wanted to talk about how you were feeling. Like, he was shut down. Basically, that's the gist of it. But now DeAngelo talks about his emotions. Now DeAngelo is open to having those conversations, expressing how he's feeling emotionally, whether it's every time or not. It's progress, and just showing your partner that you may not be able to express yourself emotionally, vulnerably every single time. You're trying to get there, and every other time or whatever it is, he tries to express that to me in whatever way that he can, and I will take that. I'll take it any day over him not fucking speaking up.
Because a huge misconception with men is that vulnerability is a feminine trait that masculine men should not feel, and that we should suppress emotions so that women don't think we have emotions. But all the women want from us is emotion.
Facts.
And we have to learn how to express emotion. And because we bottle these things, we feel like it makes us more manly, but it actually weakens us. Expressing emotion empowers testosterone and all the things that make men. We just have to balance out the energy between me and you, the stuff that you need, the stuff that I need, but in ways that I never learned how to express.
Yeah.
And until you were able to show me. I didn't know these things growing up the way I did and with the family I did. I always felt alone, but I felt confident, which was kind of tough because I was like, who do I show this confidence to? I wanted to share things that were in my head that I was never able to share with people because they weren't listeners. They were speakers and projectors, and it was hard to get somebody to understand what was going on in my head, even if it wasn't going on in theirs, and to support me like you do.
I think that's really beautiful and interesting that you said there was things that you wanted to share but didn't emotionally, and now you're having to fight through, I don't even know what to call it, but you're having to fight through those emotions of allowing yourself to express that when innately that's what you wanted to expressed from the beginning.
Exactly, because my sun sign being a Taurus is only part of me. There's other parts that express different things, that want to express emotion, but it's almost having like a stronger shield than it is to put the shield down and put your weapons down and to have a talk about a conflict instead of fight for it and defend for it with a sword and armor.
It doesn't need to be a fight at all.
No, it doesn't need to be a fight at all.
It can be a very calm and peaceful conversation where you say how you are feeling and the other person receives it and responds however they're able to respond.
Exactly, because you project what's going on in your head on somebody else. So you think what somebody else may be thinking because of what you think. So you don't feel as...
That's what... I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
No. I thought you were at the end of your conversation or your sentence. Go ahead.
I kind of got lost, so I want you to take it on.
That's okay. I just feel like that's why we need to give our parents grace and at some point stop blaming them so much, because when you think about yourself and your own journey and what you're having to overcome and these different cycles you're having to break and subconscious patterns, subconscious patterns you're having to overcome, you think about how your parents were going through the same things. They just were not as consciously aware as we are now.
And open-minded.
I feel like that goes hand in hand, though, because...
No, I had to add that in there.
Because I feel like if they are not subconsciously aware, they can't be open-minded.
Exactly. The blockages.
So, that's why I say we have to give our parents grace, because
absolutely,
at some point, like, obviously some shit is just foul, out of pocket. But I feel like neither of us have dealt with parents that were, like, that far out of pocket. Like... Our parents had their own struggles, but we didn't grow up with like sexual abuse or, I mean, I had a little bit of physical abuse, but I feel like in its own, like, sexual abuse is a little different. We didn't grow up with sexual abuse. We didn't grow up with like drug addictions, alcohol.
Yeah.
Exactly. We didn't grow up with any of that harshness, not to like minimize the struggles we had growing up, but I feel like for the most part we still had some pretty good childhood. So I feel like we have to give our parents grace, because they were going through the same things we're going through now, but they did not have the conscious awareness and the access to the knowledge that we have now. And that took me a long time to
accept and realize.
Not even realize, to accept. I realized it a while ago, but to accept, because I was so angry. I was so mad that these things happened to me, or that my childhood was a certain way. I was so mad about those things, but I'm a very empathetic person, and I had to empathize with my parents, and that they were doing the best that they could with where they were at in their journey at that time.
Exactly.
I had to, because it wasn't going to go any other way.
No. And a lot of people put negative connotation on ignorance, but ignorance is exactly what it is. Ignorance in definition is not having the knowledge or understanding of something. And our parents were ignorant in what was good for them and good for us at the same time. So at the same time, it was an equal balance of struggles and the happy moments all in one.
Yeah.
And that's what made it even more confusing for a kid, someone that has to download a lifetime of things that happens to them in ways that they can only understand. They saw the worst of the worst, and they saw the best of the best, and it was always confusing having both worlds, because which one is how I think? Which do I think negative? Do I think positive? What am I happy about? What am I not happy about? We went through a lot of things that we were confused about. And like you said, our parents didn't have the knowledge to teach us the things that we know now, and what we've learned, and the access that we've had, and the ways that we've changed our mind in ways that our families and parents weren't able to teach us. where we had to go on our own and learn our own in our own ways.
Yeah, I agree. I feel like that kind of sums up like what we were talking about.
Yeah. I get a little deep sometimes. I'm sorry. She noticed that.
That's okay.
So just go on.
That's okay. We love that. We love that.
Here.
We love that about DeAngelo. I really feel like this needs to be like a me and you podcast. Because the energy, I know you hesitantly, like in the beginning, were like,
no,
but the way that like we flow together, I just feel like this should be a me and you podcast.
So, and let me tell you, I didn't feel any anxiety, any thought before we were doing it. I was thinking like, do I feel anxious? I'm like, no, like.
And didn't
this almost feels like.
Didn't I tell you like it's hard to start it off, but then once I go, it just starts flowing, and we both kept just flowing and talking.
And I think what's easy for me doing it in front of the camera is that I talk to people all the time, daily, and shit all the time. Talking in front of a camera is almost like nobody's looking at me. It's
because they're not.
They're not. It's just me and you talking to each other. So, believe it or not, this is how we talk all the time.
This is not for the cameras.
This is not for the cameras. Every morning text message I text her, I was told from somebody else, looks like we could be arguing, but if you actually read the words, it's very inspirational. Yeah. Yeah. Like,
I was like, what the fuck you mean? We could be arguing. Did they read it?
No. I would text her a paragraph, and they're like, oh, that looks like it could be an argument. I'm like, no, those are all words of encouragement, positive love expressions, energy, sending messages every day. I'm trying to put it in a sense that unless you actually read the words, you wouldn't know how amplified it is. So I'm trying to over-exaggerate it a little bit because we know people don't do this.
And it's meaningful.
It's meaningful, exactly. I don't ever have to think twice about it.
I would respond in the very beginning with my own little words, but then I quickly realized that like this is a DeAngelo thing. Like I heart his message every morning. He understands that I read it. I hope you understand. I read it. I loved it. I love receiving my messages every morning, but I quickly realized that that just was not me. Like I would respond honestly in the very beginning, but then it started feeling like it was becoming a thing that like
it's pushed or forced.
Not that I had to do, but like I just didn't necessarily want to, because my mornings start off with Kehlani. Like I don't really want to type out a whole message. I usually can't, honestly.
3.5-year-old baby.
Honestly, I can't sit there and type out a long message. She's asking me for X, Y, and Z. I'm trying to make her go to the bathroom. She's trying to watch TV. I'm trying to make her breakfast. She's trying to eat some fucking popcorn or goldfish for breakfast, and she's arguing with me about not being able to eat that. So like I can't. Yeah. I don't have the time nor the mental capacity to try and text you back a paragraph.
And that's never something that I'm upset about.
Yeah.
I understand, because I get to go to work and I don't have a world of chaos. I feel like most of my environment, I feel like I could control for the most part. You have these things, like you said, she wants this, that. It's pulled all over the place. So I feel like in my role and my importance is letting you know that there's someone there that acknowledges the things you do, and that is there to support the things you do, and understands the things that you go through on a daily basis. So that's why those words are so off the rip, because I want you to feel like there's someone there even if they're not there, because I don't have to deal with these things, and I know you do, and I'm the person that makes you feel most comfortable in the world. I want to be the person that makes you feel most comfortable in the world.
I'm sorry, whoever the fuck that was need to get their brakes done, because
brakes need to get done. It's been time, a long time ago.
I was trying to listen to DeAngelo, but those brakes, they really pulled me out of it. My camera's about to die, so we're gonna have to wrap it up. I feel like this was a really good episode with DeAngelo, And I think we're gonna start doing more episodes with DeAngelo. I'm gonna make him film with me. So
We do a little bit more.
hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, please give it a thumbs up. It would really help.
Yes.
And also subscribe if you would like to. We're gonna have more episodes with DeAngelo. This is gonna be a Destiny and DeAngelo.
A different
podcast.
perception on the world.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah, we're gonna share our 2 cents
our 2
if
minds.
you care
Yeah.
to listen. So yes, we love you guys. Hopefully you subscribe.
make
Hopefully
dollars,
you
don't
like
make
this
sense.
video. What? What are you talking about? Anyways, we'll see you guys in the next video. Bye.
Bye.